everyone. So the demo one will be held in this week, and I'm sure all of you have filled out the schedule with the TA, and we uploaded the final schedule in project, and then so when you go back to find it, there will be a demo number 1 schedule, and I can show you quickly right here. So right here we have every team's time to meet up with the TA. And is there any team who will be demonstrating on the CSE machine? Or you can demonstrate it from your laptop? All from the laptop? Okay, so then no one has to meet her in the computer room then. Okay, but if you do have to, email her. And I think she will announce which office to meet up with. And basically it's just 15-minute demonstration. I'll repeat this again before the class finish, but the expectation will be you will need an interface that is able to communicate with your database, and you have to populate some sort of data into your database. Okay, so whatever you want to do on your interface, either just displaying the data in table on the interface, or if you want to do searching, or if you want to do, I can do the function of registering user already, that's all right, okay? I just need the connection established, that's all. And in terms of interface, I think all of you guys know we're expecting like a web page, but if you want to do any GUI, or even if you want to do it on the phone, like, I don't know, like an app or anything, that's all right, okay? So that's that for the schedule. And regarding to homework 4, I'm still writing it. Hopefully I can have it out today or tomorrow. So we will be using NoSQL. And I found a data set from Yelp, so we can play around with the Yelp data set, which I think is really fun. So that would be for homework 4. If I end up posting it really late, I will move the deadline a bit later. Okay. So that's that. Let's get to this lecture for today. So we are going to continue the MongoDB lesson from last time, and we will finish it today. Okay. And on Wednesday, we will move on to chapter 6. All right, so review from last time. Last time we spent quite an amount of time talking about what is MongoDB and what's the concept behind it and how do we map it to SQL, right? So we learned about MongoDB. In the database, you can have multiple collections, and in the collections we have documents, and document has fields. And one of the most interesting thing about MongoDB is that for documents, each document in the same collection does not have to have the same field. Okay? That's one of the very strong feature of NoSQL and MongoDB in particular. Okay? And last time we played around with some of the queries, and if you remember, in MongoDB they call their own semantics like CRUD. C-R-U-D, C stands for create, R stands for read, U stands for update, and D stands for delete. And last time, even though we only spent like half of the lecture like really putting our hands on and trying out the commands, we actually already learned 3 out of 4. So MongoDB is really easy to learn. Right? And last time we were trying out on the terminal. When you work on the homework or anything, you can still work on the online terminal, but today I'll just do it on my own terminal. I just think the font is nicer, bigger, nicer to see, but it's the same thing. And before we move on, just want to remind you again. So this slides will be based on the little MongoDB book. So it's by Carl. When you're reviewing for MongoDB, I think this would be a really good material for you to read through and to work on. Okay, and I have the references last time. All right. So let's get into. Okay, before we get started, if you're trying out on your laptop, just remember we have the script for creating the data. If you're not working on a laptop, that's fine. We can just write it on the slides. So I have the script from last time, lecture 24. So basically, we just need to insert the unicorn data again. Since last time we were working on the online terminal, so it's gone now. And if you remember, let's say we don't have any collection called unicorns right now, starting from the beginning, okay, like last time. Do you remember how we can create a collection called unicorns? Just use unicorns. Okay. That's it. So then you switch to the unicorn database. Okay. So if you are not familiar with the example this time, we're going to talk about lots of unicorns, so don't feel weird about it. That's what Carl came up with, and I think it's really fun. All right, so now I'm just going to paste the script I had earlier. Now we have all the unicorns in there. Okay, nothing fancy so far, just doing the same thing as last time. So if you look at slide 3, where we have the query 4, which we were supposed to work on last time and we ran out of time. So in query 4, we want to find the female unicorns that either love apples or weigh less than 500 pounds. So what do you think we will do? If you remember last time we were talking about whenever you want to get some document with certain criteria, we will be using the function find. Okay, so let's start from that. Okay. So for the find function, we can directly just specify the criteria. And if you remember, in MongoDB, just like a lot of NoSQL language, whenever we want to specify some criteria, it has the format of key value, key colon then value. If you have multiple key value terms specified, implicitly you're specifying they should all be true, so it's an AND statement. Right? But this time we want they are either love apples or weigh less than 500 pounds. But the common thing is they are all females. So you can think of it as the first criteria being gender is female and either love apple or weigh less than 500 pounds. Okay. So what we can go about it can be like this. So just remember whenever we put fields in MongoDB, you start with the curly braces. Right? So let's say the gender is female. This part is easy. Right? That's the first criteria we want. And the second one is the one we last time didn't talk about. So implicitly, if we just put all of the terms together, it's going to be an AND statement. And if you remember, in MongoDB, it will use a lot of operators starting with a dollar sign. Right? Last time we have $in, $greater than, with GT. So actually in MongoDB, we have $or. Okay, so this is a pretty cool part. Is the chair covering the last? Okay. So if we start with a $or, you can specify multiple terms in a list like this. Okay, so we can open a list. Okay, and then we just list the terms. So as long as one of the terms in the list is straight, then the whole thing is true. So what you can do is this unicorn loves apple. Okay, that's the first term. And this unicorn's weight is less than 500. If you recall, in MongoDB, say in any comparison, less than, greater than, it's also, again, done in $. So we do this. Less than 500, okay, like that. So that's all we want to put in the OR list. So then we can close the OR list, okay? And then we close the whole terms, all of the terms for the find. Then we close the find function, okay? Rather intuitive, but if you read through it again, it's basically saying, we want to find the unicorns, it's either gender F, we want to find the unicorns, that is gender F, and here. And in the end statement, what do we want? The unicorn either loves apple or weight less than 500. So you can see how nested MongoDB can get. Give you a little bit of time before I hit enter. Yeah.
So if you have the or after gender F, it's like inherently just an and?
Yeah. If we just concatenate all of the terms with directly comma, it means and.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's that. So these are the unicorns that we want. Okay, so if you go back to check it, yeah, this is female, and the loves have, there's no apple. Oh, either loves apple or weight less than 500, okay? And you can check all these as well. Okay, so that's for query full. So up until now, we have learned about create, read, and delete. And this is one of the read, okay, which is like the just querying in SQL. So right now, we have one left. 1 out of 4 that we haven't learned yet, which is update. Okay. So let's talk about update in MongoDB. For example, today, if we want to update one of the unicorns' weight into 590, let's take a look. So in the collection, we have one of the unicorns whose name, I think is Rudolph, with 6 O's. Yeah, yesterday I couldn't find it, and I typed 7 O's instead. Anyway, 6 O's. So there's one of the unicorns with named Rudolph with 6 O's. If you take a look at this unicorn, the weight is 575, and we want to increase it a little. Before we move on, right now I feel like you must already feel like, why is there always so many fields listing? It's really confusing. So is it possible that we just select the columns the fields we want? So that will be the projection in MongoDB, which is the projection we learned in relational algebra, okay? Just selecting the fields we want. So to do it in MongoDB, so we can repeat again, this, okay? In the find function right here, we can actually specify a second argument listing the fields we want. And this is the interesting part. So in MongoDB, it allows you to specify the fields you want either by doing including it or excluding it. For example, right here, okay, we start second set of arguments in the second set of curly braces. For example, today, because we are only caring about updating Rudolph's weight, so we can just show the name and the weight of Rudolph. So you can say, I just want the name, and you put column 1, it means included, okay? And I want the weight. Column 1, included, okay? So if you take a look at the result, this is what you will see. It gives you the name and the weight. However, we were not expecting the automatic ID generated by MongoDB. So what we can do is following including name, including weight, we can do excluding ID. Okay, so this is a very interesting feature of MongoDB. You can say, I want to exclude ID by specifying into 0. So when you press it again, now we only get the name and the weight. Okay, yeah? Can we what? Multiple things. I don't really get it. What does it mean? You say...
Like what we get in my SQL.
Uh-huh.
Can we have a well-organized table?
Oh, no. So yeah, in MongoDB, it's all like this. They are all in curly braces. Okay? Because the idea will be more like a set of fields, because every document has different fields. So it doesn't try to put it all in the table. Okay? All right. But so now you're wondering, okay, we have including and excluding, but won't it be weird if we just mix and match the include and exclude? Logically, it doesn't make sense. Say, okay, include name, include weight, exclude date of birth, and you exclude the food they love to eat. So MongoDB actually doesn't allow you to do that. For example, if you say, it will say you cannot currently mix including and excluding, okay? So the only thing that you can mix with including will be the automatic ID, because it comes by default. Okay, another way you can do it is saying, So if I say I don't want the date of birth, and I don't want to know what food it loves to eat, okay, then it will give you the rest of the fields. Okay, so that's a really handy feature of MongoDB. All right, let's go back to our initial task where we want to update Rudolph's weight, okay, from 575 to 590. So if you take a look right here, okay, right now its weight is 575. So intuitively you might think, all right, we want to just do update, okay? Update the unicorn. So we find the unicorn first with the name. Yeah. Okay, we find the name first. And then for the second argument, you just say, okay, change the weight to 590. Seems pretty intuitive, right? But actually, if you hit enter, even though nothing wrong happens, okay, if we again try to find the Rudolph this time, it's gone. You'll be like, what? Because it seems correct, right? We just find the name and then we update the weight. But in MongoDB, what this actually does is it finds the document matching this and just totally replace it with a document with only weight 590. Okay? So for us, it's kind of bizarre, but let's take a look, okay? We can say we want to find where the document having weight 590. And you see, we do have a document of unicorn in here who has only the weight information. Okay? So you want to be careful when you're updating MongoDB document in MongoDB. So now let's fix this first. Let's get the information of Rudolph back. So what we can do, okay, we will do again. Let's start with the updates. Okay, so we want to update. And this time, we just want to directly edit this one, okay, this document. So what we can do is, again, let's say, okay, well, I want to find a document with weight 590. And the correct way of updating it is actually giving it a set operator. Okay, so this is the not so intuitive part. Okay, you want to say, what do I want to update it? I don't want to directly replace the whole thing. Instead, I want to set field by field. Okay. So how do we do it? In the set operator, you can just basically list the fields that you want to set the documents to have. So here again, we go back to saying, you don't have to write all these down, just get the idea, then that's all right. All right, so we try to recover Rudolph, okay, the name of it, and let's just make it up. Maybe we remember it loves apple, okay, and remember its gender is male, okay, that's that. Yeah. Okay, so now if we go back to find Rudolph, because it doesn't have weight. It's there again, okay, because we just updated back by doing the set. So by doing the set, right here, okay, we can target a specific document and set the fields we want the field to be. So what would you do now with the weight then? Oh, the weight, oh, we fix it, yeah, that's it. All right, so today, let's say we want to directly change the weight back without replacing the whole document. What we can do, okay, is to say, update the unicorn with this name. Okay. And then you say, I just want to directly set the weight to be something, okay? For example, let's say it loses weight again, okay? Then we can just do that. Okay, so that's the correct way of updating. Just be careful that you don't want to replace the whole thing. Okay. All right. A little bit more on updates. Actually, we have a few more operators on updates. If you take a look at slide 8, I put 2 operators. The first one is INC, which stands for increment, and the second one is push. Okay. We can practice how these are. So increment, very intuitively, we know doing increment just on a certain field, you either increment, okay, by the amount you specify. So if you specify negative, then it's decreasing. So for push, push will be an idea of, for example, in the field you already have an existing value. If you do push, it makes it into a list and appending another value into it. Because if you recall, in NoSQL, the values for a field being atomic is not necessary. Okay? So you can just directly transform it into a list. So let's take a look at slide 9, where we have query 5. Say today we have a unicorn whose name is Pilot, and we want to decrease the number of vampires of it by 2. I was finding again yesterday what it means by the vampire. Apparently unicorns kill vampires, so that's the number of vampires unicorns kill. So I thought it's like unicorns owns vampires, but it's not that way. Anyway, so some of the unicorns in this data set has like number of vampires, and for the unicorn whose name is Pilot, we want to decrease it by 2. Okay? So what we can do, again, this is updating. So we can say, in the unicorns we want to do update, right? In the unicorn we want to update has name Pilot. So far you will already notice we are searching the unicorns by name, okay? So this is because in the data set they don't have overlap name. So we want to find the unicorn whose name is Pilot, and we want to do update, which is decreasing the vampire number by 2. But in MongoDB, we only use increase, INC, so increase by negative 2 is decreasing by 2, okay? So here, same thing. Earlier we do set operator to set the value, but now we want to do increment, so we just do this, okay? We first find the unicorn we want, and then in the second argument of update, we say we want to do increment. So what field do we want to do increment on? We want to do on the vampires field. And what's the value we want to increment by? We want to increment by negative 2. Okay. That's it. Simple as that. I forgot to check how many vampires it had before. But remember, it's supposed to decrease. Okay? So that's for changing the value directly. All right, and let's try out push. So for query number 6, we want to add sugar to the list of food unicorn Aurora loves to eat. We can try to find what Aurora likes to eat first by doing find, and the name of the unicorn is Aurora. And let's say we are only interested in the name and the food it loves to eat, and we don't want ID. Okay, just to review quickly again of how to do the list of fields you want. Okay, 1 stands for including, 0 stands for excluding. So you can see right here we have Aurora, it loves carrot and grape, and we want to add sugar into it. So this is another example of update. So what we can do, okay, again, we do update, and we first find the unicorn, whose name is Aurora, okay? And here's the interesting part. How do we do to push a value into an existing list? So we just need to do push, okay? And where do we want to push into? We want to push into the field called loves, and the values we want to push into is sugar. That's it. Really simple. Okay. So here's the operator of pushing, and you just push a new value into the existing value. Okay. If the original one is not a list, it will transform it into a list, and then just make them into a list of 2 elements. Okay. So if you try again, we want to find RRN loves it likes to eat. Then this time we get sugar in the list. Okay. So that's it. Any questions so far for the updates? Pretty simple, right? Okay. Let's see a few more things. I think we don't have that much to talk about today. It's going to be quite short. So MongoDB, it provides you with a little bit of tweaked version of update. So it's called upsert. You can see on slide 12. I'll skip slide 11 because I already talked about it. So on slide 12, for the upsert, it is basically that it will insert a document if it is not found. Okay, so it's update plus insert, upsert. However, you have to enable a boolean in update to do that. So for example, if we're updating a document that actually doesn't exist, if you just put upsert is true, then it will just create a new document for you. Okay. For example, let's try. For example, in our collection, we want to see whether we have any unicorn whose name is Walala or anything like that. And we can't find any, right? So if today you're saying, we already don't have Walala to begin with, but today if you're saying, I want to increment the number of vampires of this unicorn by 1, then you simply do like this. Okay, and we do increment. We go to find it, there's still no unicorns, right? Because when we do here, we're directly saying we want to update the number of vampires on the unicorn that doesn't exist, right? So if you want to do 2 things in one step, first create it if you don't find it, and then increment it by 1, what you can do is to specify one more argument right here, just saying upsert is true. Okay, so upsert is update and insert. You're just saying for this action, I want the upsert to be true. So unlike last time, even though we couldn't find Walala, this time we will create one for you. Okay, and then increment the vampires. So if you do the upsert again, this time because that unicorn already exists in the collection, so it won't create a new one to replace it. Instead, if we do it again, it will directly increment the vampires. Okay, so it just allows more flexibility. Okay, taking care of the documents that does not exist. Right. So that's for upsert. And let's take a look. So for now, what we have seen so far, we are searching the unicorns all by the names because I said in the data set, it just by default, it doesn't have any unicorns with the same name, right? So every time we do an update, it just directly on a single document. Well, what if today we say we want to do an update on more than one unicorns? For example, if you take a look at query 7, so yeah, I think Carl is pretty funny, I think. So he wants to give all of the unicorns vaccine. So if you want to give the unicorns vaccine, it's saying we set the one more field called vaccinated into the documents, right? So what we want to do today is setting vaccinated to all of the unicorns in our collection. So you can say, originally you might think we can do it like this, okay? We want to do update on which unicorns? On all of the unicorns So for the first argument we want to set, we just don't say anything, okay? We just do empty curly braces, because then all of the unicorns meet the criteria, right? And the second thing you might want to do would be say, okay, we want to set a field called vaccinated to Boolean true, okay? But if you directly do this, actually it would just do the first unicorn according to the indexing. Okay. So if you try, let's see, if you directly do this only, okay, then you find the unicorns that have been vaccinated. You will see there's only one of them. Okay? But remember, what we want to do is update all of the unicorns instead of just one. Okay? So instead of directly doing here, what we should do is to specify one more argument. So it's just basically saying for multiple, yes. Okay, that's it. So we want just to say multiple true. So MongoDB by default, you will only update one. Unless you say multiple true. Then all of the documents that fit the criteria, fit the criteria, which is no criteria, will be updated. Okay, that's that. So we have 4 more queries left. I'll just quickly go through them and then we're done today. All right. I think last time it was Austin asked about sorting, right? I think maybe, yeah. So you asked about what can we do for sorting. So in MongoDB, we can do sorting. Okay, we can say we want to do increasingly or decreasingly. So what you can do, for example, today we want to sort the unicorns based on their weight. Then you can do, we find first, okay? We just find all of the unicorns. And we do sorting. Okay? So in MongoDB, the sorting criteria will be like this. You say, I want to sort by weight, decreasingly. Okay, I want the heaviest first. Then you just do sort, and then put the criteria like that. Like right there, okay? What do you want to sort by? Okay? To validate whether this is true, let's also put in the fields we want, so make it clearer. Okay, so in find, remember we can specify 2 arguments. And the second argument will be the fields you want. So here, let's say we only want the name, the weight, and we don't like the automatic ID. Okay? So this is what we can do. We want to first find all of the unicorns, right? And we only want those fields, and we sort the unicorns based on the weight decreasing. So we will get the heaviest unicorn on the top. Okay? So this is the result, you can see. Okay, so the reason it's put to the last is because we didn't give it a weight. Okay? So right there you can see that's unicorns are sorted decreasingly. Okay, so that's what query 8, which is right here. Okay. And for the second argument in find, where we specify name, weight, and ID, that's optional, okay, just to make this clearer. So in MongoDB, you can actually also sort by 2 fields. We can say we want to sort by this first, and then this, okay? So what we can do is basically just add more arguments in the sort function. So we can say we want to first sort by the name, maybe increasingly, like right here. If we add one more in the sorting list, okay, we can say first sort the unicorns based on the name, increasingly, then sort it based on the weight, decreasingly. And this won't really show in our result. It only comes in handy when you have maybe 2 unicorns with the same name, you want to break the tie. Okay. So this will be the result. Okay. So you can see now they are being sorted alphabetically. So just remember you can specify more than one criteria to sort. All right. Then let's think about whether every time we want all of the information. Maybe we just want the top 2, maybe we just want second and 3, okay? So in MongoDB, one of the interesting features you can do is to say, maybe I want to limit just the top few. That's in SQL as well. I want to limit maybe the top 5. So if you want to limit the top 5, let's say we first sort unicorns by weight decreasingly, and maybe we just want the heaviest 5, okay? Then what we can do is just to do this, dot limit, and then just say the number of documents you want. So it will cut it from the top. Okay. So if we press enter, you'll see this time we only get the 5 heaviest unicorns in our data set. Okay. So one of the functions that goes hand in hand with this is not only can we say we want just like how many we want, we can also say how many do we want to skip. For example, if today I want to say I just want the second and third heaviest, so we should get these 2. Then what we can do is say, okay, we only want 2 unicorns. And if you don't only do limit, it's supposed to give you this, right? The top 2. So if you say, and I want to skip 1, then the 2 will move down here. So you can do this by saying, I want to skip 1. Okay? So instead of giving you the heaviest 2, it will move down and give you the second heaviest and third heaviest. Let's take a look. Okay? That's what we get. And just remember in MongoDB, the order of limit and skip doesn't matter. Okay, if you skip first and then do limit, it's the same. Yes? So this is what you can do for query 10. Okay, to get the second and third heaviest unicorns. Any question for this? Okay. And then we come to the last one. It's early for today. All right. So the last thing we want to talk about today will be to do some counting. Okay. So as you can imagine, we also have average, maximum, all those things. But we just quickly work on how counting is like in MongoDB. It's really simple. You just have to do this. Let's say we want to know how many unicorns we actually insert into the database. We haven't even checked yet, right? Because we always just copy and paste the whole script. So if you just say count, it's almost the same idea in SQL, right? Just count. Then we have 12. Okay. Then you can say, what if I only want to count certain criteria of unicorns? For example, I want to see the unicorns who have more than 50 vampires. Okay, so what you can do, you can just specify whatever criteria you want in here. Okay, then we will know only 5 out of 12 have over 50 vampires. So this is actually the completely semantically equivalent to this. We can say we want to find such unicorns first. Okay, we find it first, then we do count. Okay, they are the exact same. Okay, so just remember, we have different ways of doing counting. Okay, any question for this? All right. So, before you go, just remind you a few more things. So, as you all know, Demo 1 is this week, and I showed you the schedule earlier. You can go on Angel to see it. We put it under the project folder. Okay, and so make sure you contact the TA and know where you should meet. She should send out an email today to tell you guys where you will meet at. And so the expectation will be import data into the database and have a really simple interface to interact with your database, okay? You don't have to make it fancy. We're not asking it for a really pretty interface this time. And homework 4, I will post it soon. If I post it a bit late, I'll move the deadline a bit late. So it will be on NoSQL, just on the things we have learned in the last 2, today and last time. Okay, and midterm is next week. Yeah, next week. And I'm still thinking about the coding exam thing. Maybe I'll do it same time slot. Okay, just right after your written exam. I don't know. Anyway, I'll let you guys know. So that's for that. See you guys on Wednesday.